Lolo Enki TV.
The Law of One. Book 3, Session 59. The 25th of June, 1981. Ra, I am Ra. I greet you in the love and in the light of the One Infinite Creator. We communicate now. Questioner, could you first tell me the instrument's condition and why she feels so tired? Ra, I am Ra. This instrument's condition is as previously stated. We cannot infringe upon your free will by discussing the latter query. Questioner, would it be any greater protection for the instrument if, name, changed his sitting position to the other side of the bed? Ra, I am Ra. No. Questioner, at the end of the second major cycle there were a few 100,000 people on Earth. There are over 4 billion people on Earth today. Were the over 4 billion people that are incarnate today in the Earth planes and not incarnate at that time, or did they come in from elsewhere during the last 25,000 years? Ra, I am Ra. There were three basic divisions of origin of these entities. Firstly, and primarily, those of the planetary sphere you call Maldek, having become able to take up third density once again, were gradually loosed from self-imposed limitations of form. Secondly, there were those of other third density entrants or neophytes whose vibrator patterns matched the Terran experimental nexus. These then filtered in through incarnative processes. Thirdly, in the past approximate 200 of your years you have experienced much visiting of the Wanderers. It may be noted that all possible opportunities for incarnation are being taken at this time due to your harvesting process and the opportunities which this offers. Questioner, just to clarify that, could you tell me approximately how many mind or body spirit complexes were transferred to Earth at the beginning of this last 75,000 year period? Ra, I am Ra. The transfer, as you call it, has been gradual. Over 2 billion souls are those of Maldek which have successfully made the transition. Approximately 1.9 billion souls have, from many portions of the creation, entered into this experience at various times. The remainder are those who have experienced the first two cycles upon this sphere or who have come in at some point as wanderers, some wanderers having been in this sphere for many thousands of your years, others having come far more recently. Questioner, I am trying to understand the three spirals of light in the pyramid shape. I would like to question on each. The first spiral starts below the Queen's chamber and ends in the Queen's chamber? Is that correct? Ra, I am Ra. This is incorrect. The first notion of upward spiraling light is as that of the scoop, the light energy being scooped in through the attraction of the pyramid shape through the bottom or base. Thus the first configuration is a semispiral. Questioner, would this be similar to the vortex you get when you release water from a bathtub? Ra, I am Ra. This is correct except that in the case of this action the cause is gravitic, whereas in the case of the pyramid the vortex is that of upward spiraling light being attracted by the electromagnetic fields engendered by the shape of the pyramid. Questioner, then the first spiral after this semispiral is the spiral used for study and healing. Relative to the Queen's chamber position, where does this first spiral begin and end? Ra, I am Ra. The spiral which is used for study and healing begins at or slightly below the Queen's chamber position depending upon your earth and cosmic rhythms. It moves through the King's chamber position in a sharply delineated form and ends at the point whereby the top approximate third of the pyramid may be seen to be intensifying the energy. Questioner, the first spiral is obviously different somehow from the second and third spirals since they have different uses and different properties. The second spiral then starts at the end of the first spiral and goes up to the apex. Is that correct? Ra, I am Ra. This is partially correct. The large spiral is drawn into the vortex of the apex of the pyramid. However, some light energy which is of the more intense nature of the red, shall we say, end of the spectrum is spiraled once again, causing an enormous strengthening and focusing of energy which is then of use for building. Questioner, and then the third spiral radiates from the top of the pyramid. Is this correct? Ra, I am Ra. The third complete spiral does so. This is correct. It is well to reckon with the foundation semispiral which supplies the prana for all that may be affected by the three following upward spirals of light. Questioner, now I am trying to understand what happens in this process. I'll call the first semispiral 0 position and the other three spirals 1, 2, and 3, the first spiral being a study in healing. What change takes place in light from 0 position to the first spiral that makes that first spiral available for healing? Ra, I am Ra. The prana scooped in by the pyramid shape gains coherence of energetic direction. The term upward spiraling light is an indication, not of your up and down concept, but an indication of the concept of that which reaches towards the source of love and light. Thus all light or prana is upward spiraling, but its direction, as you understand this term, is unregimented and not useful for work. Questioner, could I assume then that from all points in space light radiates in our illusion outward in a 360 degrees solid angle, and this scoop shape with the pyramid then creates the coherence to this radiation as a focusing mechanism? Is this correct? Ra, I am Ra. This is precisely correct. Questioner, then the first spiral has a different factor of cohesion, you might say, than the second. What is the difference between this first and second spiral? Ra, I am Ra. As the light is funneled into what you term the 0 position, it reaches the point of turning. This acts as a compression of the light, multiplying tremendously its coherence and organization. Questioner, then is the coherence and organization multiplied once more at the start of the second spiral? Is there just a doubling effect or an increasing effect? Ra, I am Ra. This is difficult to discuss in your language. There is no doubling effect but a transformation across boundaries of dimensions, so that light which was working for those using it in space or time, Tumia space configuration, becomes light working in what you might consider an interdimensional Tumia space or time configuration. This causes an apparent diffusion and weakness of the spiraling energy. However, in position 2, as you have called it, much work may be done interdimensionally. Questioner, in the Giza pyramid there was no chamber at position 2. Do you ever make use of position 2 by putting a chamber in that position on other planets or in other pyramids? Ra, I am Ra. This position is useful only to those whose abilities are such that they are capable of serving as conductors of this type of focused spiral. One would not wish to attempt to train third density entities in such disciplines. Questioner, then the third spiral radiating from the top of the pyramid you say is used for energizing. Can you tell me what you mean by energizing? Ra, I am Ra. The third spiral is extremely full of the positive effects of directed prana, and that which is placed over such a shape will receive shocks energizing the electromagnetic fields. This can be most stimulating in third density applications of mental and bodily configurations. However, if allowed to be in place overlong, such shocks may traumatize the entity. Questioner, are there any other effects of the pyramid shape beside the spirals that we have just discussed? Ra, I am Ra. There are several. However, their uses are limited. The use of the resonating chamber position is one which challenges the ability of an adept to face the self. This is one type of mental test which may be used. It is powerful and quite dangerous. The outer shell of the pyramid shape contains small vortices of light energy which, in the hands of capable crystallized beings, are useful for various subtle workings upon the healing of invisible bodies affecting the physical body. Other of these places are those wherein perfect sleep may be obtained and age reversed. These characteristics are not important. Questioner, what position would be the age reversal position? Ra, I am Ra. Approximately 5 to 10 degrees above and below the Queen's Chamber position in ovoid shapes on each face of the four-sided pyramid extending into the solid shape approximately 1/4 of the way to the Queen's Chamber position. Questioner, in other words, if I went just inside the wall of the pyramid 1/4 of the way but still remained 3/4 of the way from the center at approximately the level above the base of the Queen's Chamber, I would find that position? Ra, I am Ra. This is approximately so. You must picture the double teardrop extending in both the plane of the pyramid face and in half towards the Queen's Chamber extending above and below it. You may see this as the position where the light has been scooped into the spiral and then is expanding again. This position is what you may call a prana vacuum. Questioner, why would this reverse aging? Ra, I am Ra. Aging is a function of the effects of various electromagnetic fields upon the electromagnetic fields of the mind or body spirit complex. In this position there is no input or disturbance of the fields, nor is any activity within the electromagnetic field complex of the mind or body spirit complex allowed full sway. The vacuum sucks any such disturbance away. Thus the entity feels nothing and is suspended. Questioner, is the pyramid shape constructed in our yard functioning properly? Is it aligned properly and built properly? Ra, I am Ra. It is built within good tolerances though not perfect. However, its alignment should be as this resting place for maximum efficacy. Questioner, do you mean that one of the base sides should be aligned 20 degrees east of north? Ra, I am Ra. That alignment would be efficacious. Questioner, previously you stated that one of the base sides should be aligned with magnetic north. Which is better, to align with magnetic north or to align with 20 degrees east of magnetic north? Ra, I am Ra. This is at your discretion. The proper alignment for you of this sphere at this time is magnetic north. However, in your query you asked specifically about a structure which has been used by specific entities whose energy vortices are more consonant with the, shall we say, true color green orientation. This would be the 20 degrees east of north. There are advantages to each orientation. The effect is stronger at magnetic north and can be felt more clearly. The energy, though weak, coming from the now distant, but soon to be paramount, direction is more helpful. The choice is yours. It is the choice between quantity and quality or wideband and narrowband aid in meditation. Questioner, when the planetary axis realigns, will it realign 20 degrees east of north to conform to the green vibration? Ra, I am Ra. We fear this shall be the last question as this entity rapidly increases its distortion towards what you call pain of the body complex. There is every indication that this will occur. We cannot speak of certainties but are aware that the grosser or less dense materials will be pulled into conformation with the denser and lighter energies which give your logos its proceedings through the realms of experience. May we answer any brief queries at this time? Questioner, only if there is anything that we can do to make the instrument more comfortable or to improve the contact. Ra, I am Ra. All is well. We are aware that you experience difficulties at this time, but they are not due to your lack of conscientiousness or dedication. I am Ra. I leave you in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator. Go forth, then, rejoicing the power and the peace of the one infinite Creator. Adonai.